Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 138.
138.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
Always our first stop on the way from the airport to get a lot of merchandise there.
Well, we stop from our house, but we definitely recommend that to be the first souvenir stop.
That's right. That was my point.
And Pixie Vacations, they are our travel agency sponsor. I was a travel agent for 6 years, and I highly recommend them for your Disney needs, but also not only Disney, but they'll do, they're a full-service travel agency.
And there was a big announcement we'll get to later, and they will come in very handy for that.
And MapleLeafTickets.com.
They may still have a few of those old price tickets available. Give them a call. Check them out. Best deals on tickets in town. We are going to start off at Epcot for the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. This will be the last Epcot show for at least a week or two.
For at least a week. Next week we plan no Epcot, so we're just letting you know that now.
But it was the opening day for one of our favorite times of the year at Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, and these guys were there. It's Mickey and Minnie, Farmer Mickey and Minnie.
Well, this is actually my favorite time of the year at Walt Disney World because everything is so beautiful. And Farmer Mickey and Minnie received their sign I believe on opening day for the Flower and Garden Festival.
Yes, and no glasses. Nobody was calling him Harry Potter Mickey this year.
No.
So here is one of the playgrounds. We're showing mainly things that weren't opened in our last previews of the festival. So this is the...
I believe it's called the Monstrous Garden.
Monstrous Garden.
Monstrous, because you have Mike and Sully here, as always. And Sully is huge. So it was funny during, when it was cold out, they look like ghosts. You had the little one and the big one.
Oh, with the white,
sheets.
yes, that is true. This is very similar, almost exactly as it was last year,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean it's not great. I think it's very popular with the kids. And speaking of popular, this is hugely popular. So popular we had to show it again.
Well, I was writing up my tips, and I recommend hitting here early, like
Yes.
10 a.m., 9 a.m., and then going to France, have some breakfast. You know, you can enjoy the topiaries along the way, see Beauty and the Beast before there's a billion people over in France. That's what I like to do. I like it quiet World Showcase.
I don't believe they have a photo pass person stationed here until at least 10, maybe 11.
Because it was about 10 when we hit here and there was no photo pass yet. And it was nice. You know, it's nice to have the photo pass sometimes, but there was like nobody here. And this is 10-ish.
We should mention the absolutely beautiful facial expressions. What a great job. It's hard to believe that these are growing things there.
You mean topiaries?
Topiaries, that's right.
Just like Snow White when they did her last year with that beautiful face.
Very much so. So, I think they did a great job with Anna and Elsa. Now we're moving on to Tinkerbell. Only one fairy.
No face.
Only one fairy is left. Yes, you could see the old style.
This is what the Snow White's face used to look like, more like that.
That's right. And we just saw a Tinkerbell movie last night for review, actually. It was great.
It was great. With the Neverbeast.
I know, and you said you wanted a Neverbeast now.
I do want
to
Gruff.
live in the basement.
I want Gruff.
Well, we have no basement.
basement.
That's right. To live in the bathtub, I think you said you wanted him to.
I don't think I mentioned the bathtub, but I do like the Gruff in it. Like, if you've never seen it, it's very good.
Yeah, we'll have a full review on that Blu-ray. But, I never complain when you say we're going to watch a Tinkerbell movie, because they're actually really good.
It was great. And here's the Cactus Road Rally, which is where Mater and Lightning McQueen end up. And I like this better than last year. There's actually like cactuses. I don't remember really, the theme was more like just like car parts and stuff, wasn't it last year?
Right, they had radiator springs and radiators in the ground, which they still have here, but
I like
there were no
cactuses.
cacti last year. So
yes.
I do like the cactus display. And of course, Mater, always very popular. Everybody loves Mater.
And Lightning McQueen.
Of course.
Both of them.
And we showed them last week, but they weren't finished. They weren't in their show beautiful quality. So I thought I'd have to give them a quick showing again this week.
Well, as the Flower and Garden Festival continues, you have little things, a lot of times added along the way, which is nice.
Yeah, and you definitely need to come back about halfway through because there's a second planting. So the flower quilt will look completely different colors. And these were wonderful. The Fantasia display in Future World, I was very impressed.
And they have the flower plants in the water behind them. And this area never used to get like topiaries at all. So it really nothing over here. Very, very little. So this side, is it west?
Yes, Future World West.
Because
Right.
I think Electric Umbrella is east.
That's right.
E for east.
This is something new. We didn't have this to show last week. The Disney Pixar Inside Out Emotion Garden.
And what this is plants that, like the yellow plants supposedly are joyful and the...
Joyous plants, yes.
Joyous. And then you have are we going to see all of them?
We're going to just see
okay.
a very brief look at all of There's the sad. Now, we actually had an interview with the actress who played Sadness at the last D23. Phyllis Smith. So we'll link to the interview. This film is very, very... seems to be... A lot of people are looking forward to this film. It's got a good buzz to it, so I can't wait to see it myself.
Well, they just released a trailer that we posted, and then you have here angry plants and with red, and it's actually been a very popular little garden. There's so many little gardens this year. We haven't even seen them all, and we've been there for like 20 hours now of our lives. Has been at the festival after opening.
Now, what is new this year is the festival center is only open Friday through Sunday. We love the festival center. We like to go and go to the plantings and the various demonstrations they have. So we're going to show a little bit of the festival center and talk about it.
And we've been asked many times why it isn't open all the week, but I think it's just because HGTV pulled out, and so they didn't have a partner for the center. Right.
I think that is most likely the case. But it's always nice to be back in the festival center, the former Wonders of Life Pavilion. So, it could use a little refreshing, especially on the ceiling. But
it's still, you did notice the ceiling.
It's just always nice to be there. I love being inside there again.
Well, I like the making of film. Like, to me, it's amazing that they can do a making of
the festival, not the making of me. No, you're talking the making of the festival. Right. Big difference.
Well, it's in the same theater.
Yes,
so
it's
not the making of me, it's the making of the festival, but it's this festival. It's not like they're showing the previous festival. They do a great job, and there's Pluto as a topiary. They do a great job getting that taken care of. I mean, you're seeing the entrance topiary.
Right, with Goofy and Chip and Dale and all the new... I mean, this is this year's entrance topiary.
Right, and that's what amazes me so much is that they have it ready just a few days later, this whole movie.
So they also had this really nice display where you can learn about how the topiary is created.
Including here 2 maquettes, one of Anna and one of Elsa, and these are probably going to be the most popular display at the Flower and Garden this year.
I think that is amazing how they do that and how they keep it so perfect.
And I hadn't even realized till we were talking about it that Anna and Elsa, here you can see Elsa having her head done separately.
Right, from the picture it looks like they do the heads separate, and I bet it's sort of like putting together a puzzle. And I know the Beast here, I believe his hand, they're showing the Beast's hand, and there's a big metal pipe, so they probably have to put them all together because of the delicacy of some of these pieces.
And we have seen the hand before. They have done a display like this before. I enjoyed seeing the Anna and Elsa maquettes, which, they designed that before they even get to the topiaries.
And I bet it's especially the ones with the faces that have to have the head separate because so much detail goes into those faces. Let's talk about this, one of our favorite parts of the festival.
Well, this is the greenhouse stage, and, we brought home a couple plants. All of our plants are from the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival.
This is a tradition,
every
the blowing
year
of the gloves, the blowing up of the gloves to make the plant.
At 11 and 2 every weekend, you have to be there at least an hour early. You get to make a plant. I have a peppermint plant, and I didn't make the plant.
You planted it.
Right.
It's a planting.
You get a seminar, and then you do a planting.
And we had a little bonus this year, too. I'm going to show the other plant, though. Do you remember?
You have dill.
A dill. And I don't know what we're going to do with the dill.
I have no idea. I'm not a big fan of dill.
Can you make pickles? Is that like a dill pickle? Or is that
You use it with seafood, but I don't eat seafood.
Speaking of food, we had a bonus. They
Kale
talked
salad.
A lot about kale in the presentation. And surprise, surprise, we all got a free kale salad.
And this is at the Urban Garden Eats at the festival. Like you would pay $3.50 for it. So we got, we had a nice little bonus here.
And it was very good, by the way.
It was good except for the goat. I think it was like goat cheese. I'm not a fan of blue cheese, goat cheese, like almost any kind of cheese.
So let's now look at the merchandise. I think this is a very good year for the merchandise at the festival.
Well, I'm not as big a fan of, that actually in the sun will say something and you can sort of see it. I think it should just say it all the time about from my head to my tomatoes.
Oh, is that the words come out in the sun?
Yes.
Ah,
yes.
Because I've only seen it before in the sun, so I didn't understand that.
Yes, like now you don't see the words, but then they also have so many different T-shirts and other items. You have Frozen, a lot of
Frozen stuff, and I think that'll be the most popular, obviously.
And if you haven't seen Frozen Fever, that is with the new Cinderella film. Some of the items are the dresses from that.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Springtime
absolutely.
dresses.
Right. And I think that's a good fit for the Frozen Fever.
I actually, I like the dresses. I think it's nice that, Elsa doesn't always have to wear her blue dress. Like, why not a pair of jeans, though? Like, she doesn't always have to wear a dress.
Outfit. It's sort of like
It
somebody
is.
wearing a tux all the time. You know that she's not always wearing that blue thing, so give her something more relaxed.
I think it looks a lot nicer, actually.
Olaf in his new outfit.
That's the same outfit.
Well, it's very subtle.
And this is a Magic Band limited edition of 5,000, also with the Frozen Fever outfits, a little more springtime. And I think those will sell out this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they sell out soon, if not already.
I don't know. I don't know how popular they are, but I think because of the Frozen Fever part, they will.
I love these cups that have the little surprise. I'm actually drinking from last year's cup right now as we're recording this show.
And there's a surprise in that one too. Is it a bee or
It's
something
a bee.
in your?
It's a bee. Right.
You don't want to look into your cup and see a bee, though.
That's true. That's accurate.
And kind of a retro look to some of the shirts, and that's similar to the Flower and Garden with the ears to
And
last
we can still
year.
get a sorcerer's hat.
Yes, even though they don't have one in the
version
studios.
of a sorcerer's hat.
And of course, every year, Duffy the Disney Bear is there's a new one. He sort of has that. He sort of looks like he has a cone around his head, like a dog.
Looks like he expects rain. He's wearing his boots, his rain boots there.
But doesn't it look like a dog? Like when you have the dog.
Yes.
The cone. The
And,
cone of shame.
Magnets also.
And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great merchandise. There's a poster. They have these purses. I don't know if we're going to see those to the right. Yes, we are.
There are the very nice purses.
The Dooney and Borks. I don't own a Dooney, but like if I own one, that would be more my style.
Right. They're not cheap.
More casual.
They're
no.
not cheap, but you aren't somebody who normally has those things.
No, I don't usually use a purse. And annual pass holder merchandise, like the shirt is always similar to the one of the ones they sell.
It's always an off color and
It
it's
is.
not as good. This year at least it's somewhat nice, but
I like the regular one better than the annual pass. I always like the regular merchandise better than the annual pass holder. I don't know.
That seems to be the way. So let's talk food. Everyone loves to talk food. We did try some of the things.
Not too many, but a few.
Items.
It was, this is the Grand Marnier Pop.
Oh boy,
over
so good.
at France.
I would say that's probably my favorite item right off the bat. Yes.
I really like this. That's a marshmallow macaron. That one is $4.50. The Grand Marnier Pop was $6.75. I really like this one.
I prefer the ice cream macaroon, whatever they are. Macaron.
Kind of macaron. And then you have
This guy,
your
hard
beer.
at work. Ready
Your beer
to do
flight, 4
analysis.
beers.
Yes, well, I'll talk about that after. First, we're going to talk about tell us what the burnt ends is.
Well, it's almost like meat and potatoes. It's called beef brisket burnt ends hash, which I wasn't even going to have.
With jalapeno.
I thought it
Nice
sounded
spice.
awful. Like burnt and hash don't sound good.
It was great.
It was really good. It's like meat and potatoes, and I like meat and potatoes, but not the white stuff as much. The white cheddar fondue.
So, of course, I had to do the beer flight, starting with the Florida Heffenweisen, which was just the beer. They had a Category 3 IPA, which was good. Maple Bacon Stout, which is that dark beer on the left, was amazing, although I tasted more bacon, not so much...
No, more maple.
More maple.
More maple,
not so much bacon. And I love the Billy's Chili's, a very spicy beer.
And then we had the Piggy-licious cupcake again this year, of course. And that is, that's actually much better than you would think. Like, it doesn't look great, but it actually is.
It goes
very
well
good.
with chili beer.
And that's the white corn arepa with braised beef and slaw. And I forget what booth that is. It's near.
It's sort of that booth that's not really a booth.
I keep thinking it says bananas, but it's near
yeah.
France. It's kind of right the next place over from France. It's not a country, but it was $4.25, and that was pretty good too.
So we're going to end our day at the Flower and Garden Festival with one of my favorite parts of the whole day, the illuminated gardens.
But you only have a few of them that we're going to be showing. Is that correct?
Right, and I will link to a full video that shows everyone, all the illuminated gardens. But, because we've seen most of the gardens last week, we're just going to focus on this front topiary because we want to demonstrate the Goofy's hosing technique, which was very popular with the crowd.
There was a line. There was a line to take pictures with
Very
Goofy.
suspicious. I don't understand what all the hubbub was about.
There are now bushes here where it looks like he's just trying to hide that he's doing it, and you can still see it. So it made me.
I just want to say it wasn't just us at all.
I just told you there was a line.
There was a line, but
line.
everybody, people were going to PhotoPass saying they wanted a picture with Peeing Goofy.
I don't think that the PhotoPass would have done that, but it was very funny.
Yeah, PhotoPass said no, they could not move. They had to stay where they were. It was very amusing. We should not forget how awesome this Chippendale topiaries
are
very cute.
I think they're my new favorite topiaries. I really, really like them, and they're so small and so adorable.
There's Chip right there. Very nice. And I like them best at night. I think all the topiary look better at night illuminated.
I don't know. I like them both ways. I just think, again, Chippendale, I'm surprised they have never been here for the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival before. This is their debut year.
And as usual, the lighting is just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was interesting. They have a PhotoPass photographer right there to get guests right on the, right there with the lighting on the ground.
That's right. Anyway, it was a great time, as always, at Epcot, and we can't wait to go back. But there's big news. There was a big announcement, and let's talk about that. The coolest summer ever at Walt Disney World and some Disneyland, too.
Well, they announced the Frozen Summer Fun will start again on June 17th, and that will run through September 7th, so that will be back.
That's at Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World.
Right, and we don't know if there'll be anything too much added or not yet.
Well, I know for sure they mentioned that there'll be a surprise, although since they told it, I don't know how much of a surprise it is, that Olaf will be making an appearance in the procession, in the parade that will be going on.
But wouldn't it be nice if he was meeting and greeting like he does at Disneyland?
That would be awesome. They did announce that the sing-along that you're seeing here and the fireworks are returning as well. No word yet on the ice skating.
We had great seats at that point for photos.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We were in the front row and we saw the first ever sing-along, and it was spectacular. We loved it. And
there is, I'm sure they'll have another sand sculpture. That's like a big thing now.
But not only was Frozen Summer Fun live announced, but there'll be another 24-hour day at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. At Walt Disney World, it's the Magic Kingdom, and let's talk about that first.
Well, at the Magic Kingdom, we don't know too much. They haven't sent too much details, except that it'll be from May 22nd to May 23rd, but that's also the Disneyland day as well.
Right, and last year it was very character driven. Here is a montage of some of the characters we met. I expect there to be a lot of characters this year, but probably not as many villains.
I think it will be very character driven because there isn't as much, at Disneyland, they are kicking off their 60th, so there's actually a big thing going on there, and I still think it'll be very character driven as well.
Now, you've done the Disneyland
Loved
before.
it. Toontown, in the middle of the night was awesome.
How perfect to have the characters dressed in their sleepwear at Toontown. That sounds awesome. This year is the 60th anniversary Diamond Jubilee for Disneyland, and you can see the castle there is getting bejeweled in diamonds.
I can't wait to see it in person. It looks like it'll be beautiful.
And Carthay Circle, not to be left out, is getting the diamond treatment also.
Isn't it hard to believe Disney California Adventure a few years ago did not look that great, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, this is a great park.
Well, what I'm most excited about is this Paint the Night parade. It sounds spectacular. It's sort of like the parade that just debuted at Hong Kong Disney. They're going to have Monsters, Inc., Cars, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Toy Story, and what a surprise, Frozen will be in this new Disneyland nighttime parade.
May I say that we should have a new nighttime parade here too?
What are you trying
We
to
have
say?
a great new daytime parade, 1 year old as of like a couple days ago.
Well, there will also be a new fireworks. It's called the Disneyland Forever Fireworks Spectacular with 2 original songs, Live the Magic and Kiss Good Night, written by Disney legend Richard Sherman. So that'll be interesting. And you can see they even use Main Street with lighting. And boy, oh boy, it looks amazing.
It looked crowded from the concept art. So look at that. Look at how crowded the World of Color looks right here. But we both love the World of Color.
And Neil Patrick Harris is going to be the host of that. It's going to be talking about Walt Disney, a lot about Walt Disney and the whole the dream of building Disneyland. So I can't wait. I think that's going to be awesome. Lots of excitement coming up for Disneyland's 60th Diamond Jubilee.
And next we're talking about the Freedom of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. We were on it about a month ago for a day and a half. So really 1 full day plus a little bit the first day. We got to see the DreamWorks characters. That is their characters on the ship.
What a welcome. This
it was wonderful.
I mean, we were
Alex.
in that ship within a minute, and this is what we saw. So that was a nice way to start our special cruise there.
Well, you have Alex, King Julian, and Gloria. So that was a lot of fun to begin to kick it off.
Right. Now, we should mention it was a special preview cruise. It wasn't a full cruise, just to sort of show travel agents and media the new ship. It was been in dry dock and redone a little bit.
Right. Well, it was mostly for travel agents, and there was a handful of others like us invited so that we could talk about it. And because we had just done Carnival, we didn't want to have them too close together as far as our shows. But this is a beautiful ship, and I especially like the promenade, which we're going to show in the center of the ship.
Oh, yeah. And we'll probably do 2 shows talking about this ship. This one will be the ship itself, and we'll also talk about the food on the next show. But first, let's take a look upstairs at all the on-deck activities. I tell you, if you like to swim and you like water activities, there is plenty to do on this ship.
And plenty of jacuzzis. They don't have a pool slide, but they do have, and I, as an adult, I kind of like jacuzzis. I like having plenty of them.
You mean jetted tubs?
Jetted tubs. Okay, jetted tubs.
Jacuzzi is a brand name.
I like a warm tub with bubbles in it.
Well, there were lots of those to be had, and probably my very favorite jetted tub of all time, which we're going to see a picture of.
Is that in the solarium area?
Yes,
that
it
we were.
is.
We
Yes, it
actually made a little bit of time to be able to do that because we were really documenting the ship. That's all we did. Plus, they had open bar the whole time, so we had a few drinks.
Open bar was a very nice thing, and open food. So we were quite full after all the tastings.
It was crazy. But again, we spent pretty much a day and a half documenting everything that we could on the ship, and we can't really talk about the cruise experience as much because we didn't have that to the same level as we would on a regular cruise.
I can talk about this.
I love that, and how this jetted tub with bubbles,
yes.
Warm jetted tub with bubbles, actually goes out over the water, which I loved.
Here we are there.
Oh.
And it's so nice to look
Looks like
out.
we're working hard, huh?
Yes. Nobody feels sorry for us about
Right.
having to document the ship all day and try all the
I'm not
alcoholic
complaining about it. It
drinks.
was actually
wonderful.
wonderful.
Of course, it was wonderful. We're going to take a look up at the elevators. This is a very, very high lobby, very tall.
Yes, and when you're up on top, like I couldn't look over because I get nervous looking over.
Right. You always get that feeling in your stomach looking down. I remember that. You were like, I don't think I should be looking down from here. The elevators, by the way, very fast. Mm-hmm. Super fast.
We've been on like 5 different ships in the last year. So it's so interesting to see, in 3 different cruise lines. So it's very interesting to see the differences with all of them.
Well, the big thing for us, we've never seen anything like this Royal Promenade. So we're going to talk a little about that. It was almost like having a
arcade,
main
almost.
street or a mall in the middle of the ship. You don't feel like you're on a ship at all with this.
And I like that. I like feeling like I'm not necessarily on a ship some of the time. And they have a Brito. I didn't see any Disney pieces, but I actually like the Brito Disney pieces so much. And just his styling is
we own
gorgeous.
a Brito piece. Our good friend Kelly gave me a very nice.
Oh, Jose.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love it.
And they have, we're going to see so many different things. I think I don't know if they just added the Ben & Jerry's. Some of these areas are new. They added some items, took some away. But again, we've never been on Royal Caribbean, so I can't say everything that's new versus old.
Correct. Correct. It was all new to us.
It was all new to us.
And the whole way of doing it was new to us because we've never had anything like this again in
The
the center.
cupcake cupboard
This was definitely
is new. Maybe Ben and Jerry's isn't new, and the cupcake cupboard though was. And these looked. And you know what? The thing is, I always want to try something. Like I wanted to try something here, but they fed us so much food that I didn't buy anything.
We truly were too full. And if they allowed us to take this stuff off the ship, I absolutely would have bought a box of that.
But you
Absolutely.
can't take food off a ship, unfortunately.
Right, unfortunately, because I was just too full.
Even on our Carnival 7 night, there was something I wanted, but I never bought it because there was food all the time.
Right, but not complaining, yet again, not complaining. Always good to have an abundance.
Yes. And they have like this wine, I believe this is a wine bar, vintages.
Yes.
And you can get wine, like if you just want 1 ounce of wine, you can pour 1 ounce of wine. You just pay for that 1 ounce, which I love because I don't necessarily need a full glass of wine.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
a tiny bit is fine.
Especially for you. I mean, that is a brilliant concept. It's the first time I've seen anything like that done anywhere. So I thought that was good. And we also checked out the beer version of that as well across the street.
The bar.
We'll take a look at that.
Well, actually, it's a pub, but yeah.
It's a pub. I should have said
And I
pub.
thought that was very nice. And again, like if we wanted probably in the vintages, I never went in, but we probably could have had something. And then we did at the pub.
Here's a look at the mermaid sculpture they had on the roof. And I think we're going to take a look at the pub now.
And it's called Bull and Bear, just like the one, is that the Waldorf? The
Yes,
restaurant
there's
at
a
the
restaurant
Waldorf.
that's Bull and Bear.
So it's easy to remember, actually. But this is a beautiful pub. And you ended up trying.
We patronized it a number of times. I tried a few beers that I'd never heard of. There is a menu of beers, and it's 2 pages. There must be over 100 different beers, including bottled and on tap beer. So it's if you can't find anything you like in there, then good luck.
They certainly have just all over the ship, but it's really nice to be able to be on a ship and just I have never seen anything like this. Again, it's not. I mean, I've only been on 3 different cruise lines, but I've never heard of a pub on a ship, so I thought that was very nice.
It was a nice atmosphere. I enjoyed our time just trying some different things in there. So, and I kind of like these bears
paintings.
dancing around. Reminds me of the painting at the Fort Wilderness men's room in a way.
Oh, I forgot about
The
that.
scratching cowboys.
And it looked like they have almost like this is more of just a little themed area because I didn't see any games or anything, but it looks like, like a game board if you were an actual pub like in England.
Right. Very much a masculine style pub. Very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's move on. We're going to look more down the...
Down the way.
Down the way.
Down the Royal Promenade.
Right. And I should mention the Royal Promenade also held a parade, which we're going to look at very soon.
And it was a great one. This was not our favorite place. This is it called Sorrento's Pizza? Not as good pizza. I was hoping for better.
Right. It's sort of just a fast food type pizza, not a fancy sort of. It's nothing like you'd get in New York City or a real pizza experience.
This was probably the biggest letdown of the ship as far as food that we tried. There were some things that we loved, and then some things we didn't love as much, and that was one of them.
Right.
And they have different entertainment events that go on here. Plus, there are guests who stay. Do you see the windows? So some guests get to see what's going on from their windows.
Right. We had a tour of all the various rooms, and oh boy. So let me explain this. This was a 70s themed night. So I'm wearing a disco ball in those glasses. They handed them out to everybody, and it was sort of a 70s theme.
I went back early.
I think you had
I
enough. That was our
tired.
first day. It was very exhausting. So, and here we go. This was one of the most fun elements of the cruise.
The
at least that we saw.
DreamWorks Move It parade, and this was really fun. Like this is theme park
quality. Absolutely. And we have we'll link to the full version. I think this goes on for over 10 minutes. I mean, it's a full parade.
Well, this and the ice skating show was amazing. And,
absolutely.
I will say if I don't like something, but the ice skating show was one of the best ice skating shows I've ever seen, and it was at sea. But the parade also was a lot of fun and very kind of interactive, where they sort of, went up to guests and all that.
And we've gotten to know these characters from their visits at the
Gaylord
Palm. So, they're a lot of fun. There's Kung Fu Panda there.
That's Poe.
That's Poe, right?
Yes.
But he's from Kung Fu Panda.
Right, and I think there were about 80 performers in this, and we noticed some of the ice skating, the wonderful, I don't know if you call them cast members, I don't know what they would call them there, from the ice skating show, were in this as well.
Right, and you could see there's Shrek, and also there is Mrs. Shrek right there.
Fiona,
of course. And it's Fiona. Normally lately when we meet Fiona, she is in her human form.
Right, I call that the plush form.
The plush? You mean
Plush.
the monstrous? More
No,
the monster
just
form?
plush. Like I call them more like plush.
Right. Oh, look at there.
And you have
is
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. And there he is, your
Puss
favorite.
in Boots.
That's right. That's right. So lots and lots of characters. Quickly, though, I want to talk about that ice skating show. They didn't allow any recording of that show.
I only took photos.
Right. And it was very hard because they're moving so fast. I just want to say that was the most amazing show I have ever seen. I'm talking about any ice skating show.
Ever.
At SeaWorld and at Busch Gardens and
Disney on
Ice, all that stuff. It really blew my mind. I couldn't understand how they did some of the things they did on at sea.
Right, and one of the couples that with the
Changing of the dresses.
Like, how do you do that? I understand, like, it's probably coming off, but so quickly, and it's without being able to show it to you. It's very hard to explain, but it was wonderful.
Right. So anyway, getting back to this was great too. Great entertainment on Royal Caribbean. I was very impressed.
And we didn't see everything. Again, really we saw that in one day.
Yeah,
so,
it was very brief, very quick on and off, but we tried to see as much as we possibly could.
And we did. I mean, we had stopped at Nassau, and we could have gone to Atlantis. We were given that opportunity, but we chose to stay on the ship so that we could get photos and video, especially of the Royal Promenade.
Anyway, we'll have much more on the Royal Caribbean Freedom of the Seas on a future show. And you know what?
That's another show.
That is another show. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We do have a few shout-outs that we promised.
Well, we got stopped by so many of our viewers. Like, all of our viewers are at Disney World right now, I think.
I think that's true.
So I didn't write everybody's name down because there were so many, but I just want to say, thanks to Claude and Johnny and Sam and Summer and Noah and everybody
and his
else.
whole family.
And everybody's family who stopped us. We really appreciate it, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We also want to thank our sponsors, PixieVacations.com, who have just signed up for another year with us.
I know. I'm so excited about that. There's so much going on at Walt Disney World this year and the Disney Cruise Line. The prices are going up for the Star Wars cruises, so now is the time.
Now is the best time.
Best time, yep.
Also, Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency. The best deals on tickets in town. Check them out.
And Theme Park Connection, our original sponsor.
Yeah, always the first stop on the way from the airport to Walt Disney World or wherever you're vacationing.
And that's another show.
That's another show. Thanks again, and we'll see you all next week. Have a great week.
Have a great week.